Hey, how's it going, everybody? Figured this item that I picked up at Goodwill yesterday deserved its own video. It's too freaking cool. Anyways, before I show it, and before I forget, so I'm burned out, hit the chiropractor yesterday, so I am burned out today. But I really wanted to show this off, man. It's cool. Anyways, I thought it was having problems. Anyways, that had to do with the battery. But before I was able to find another battery, I went ahead and opened it up. Just enough to see inside, which I'll show you guys what I did. It's real easy. You just take off one part, one screw, and just kind of flip the part to the side, and then you can see the majority of the guts, like all the capacitors and stuff. I thought that either it had a blown capacitor or it was one on the verge. Anyways, it turns out this thing likes to have a fresh battery. If it's not getting that full-on 9 volt, it starts acting up. And that's what it was doing. It was making all kinds of squealing sound when I was going through the stations and whatnot. Wouldn't pick up any stations. It's just nothing was coming through good. So it wasn't drawing enough voltage. Now that I put a fresher battery in it, the only thing that it does now is common old radio. When I turn up the volume, it's got some static as you're turning it up, but once you get to where you want it, it stays okay. And decent speaker in it. I don't know how much wattage the speaker puts out, but decent. It's enough to where if you had it like on your desk or whatever, get a little desk radio or nightstand radio or whatever. And another cool feature with this, it was meant to either be setting like on a desk or nightstand or whatever, just tabletop radio, or you can mount it on a wall. And the way they did it for mounting on a wall is really cool. So, show it to you guys here. Anyways, this is a General Electric Orbiter AM radio from 1972. Or at least according to the majority of places I found this, is in a picture of this online, they were saying 72. There was a couple people that were saying 60s, but somebody was going by how you look up the date through the code number or whatever that's on the box, serial number or something. So anyways, on the bottom here, try and get that where you can see better. Just doesn't want to show up. Anyways, it's just stamped General Electric with the General Electric logo dead center, and then it has it dead center on the top of the speaker grill where it's the logo. Anyways, basically a suspended ball, so it's able to rotate, and then on the bottom here got the little punch out so you can hang it on the wall via screw. And it's weighted on the bottom, so basically you'd have it like this, so when you put it up on the wall, it tilts upwards, so the speaker is always facing up, which getting to do pretty good. Probably need to spray a little bit of WD-40 in there so the little hinge things spin better in there. Because all it's holding it on is a couple screws, just one on each side that has a post sticking out that just goes into each side of the ball just a little bit. Maybe. Try this. Just do that just a little. That might do the trick. That's better. Got it a little too tight. So I can say that. Very cool how they did it. As you can see, has all the numbers there for the AM stations. The way you adjust it is top hemisphere here rotates for the volume, the bottom rotates to select your stations. It's a little staticky turning up the volume. And then on stations, pretty much hatred news from Golden Valley, because everything sucks in Golden Valley, and then one radio station that's naturally country because I freaking live here, and pretty much all the other stations were country. Maybe one soft rock, I don't know, but they seem to be all country. If I'm in the living room, it was pulling up more stations. In here, I got enough stuff around me, it just blocks the signal. Otherwise, I think maybe 2 Mexican stations also. Got a lot of AM stations, but some of them just don't come in good, or they're really quiet. But man, they just packed them in there to where it's like numbers apart. I can see why they have the tuners all digital now, so you can get right on the numbers. You got to go really slow tuning this to pick it up good. Otherwise,
I'd like to take away some of your lonely moments.
no, keep your lonely moments. Anyways, pretty damn good sound for radio from 72. Anyways, one thing they did, and could be one of the reasons why this is pretty freaking rare, is that I only found 2 of these. Not for sale on eBay, but 2 of these that had sold. I forgot to look at the dates. I think I saved one of the links for the one that was most expensive, is in up there on the price. On other sites, it was like those freaking antique type sites that you got to sign up for, where they'll show you what it is, but until you're signed up as a member, they won't give you the price it went for. And then another site, I think it was showing like it went for just over $100 for one, that I can't remember if they said it was working or not. Anyways, on eBay, one of them that I saw where still sold, where if you add up the price plus the price they wanted for shipping, over $100, and it was in bad shape. Even with their crappy pictures, man, I could tell it was in fairly bad shape. It wasn't like this. The grill looked much more beat up, which this has a ding in it, but it's not bad. You kind of see it. Try and reflect it. See on top there where it gets a little ring of light. It's right there where it's just a little flattened out. Otherwise, it's not horrible. This is like maybe it fell off a table onto a floor, like in the kitchen, and just smacked it in flat a little bit. But not bad. This one that they sold for over $100 looked like it could have fell on like the ground. Anyways, this can be removed, where you just take out the screws, or actually all I have to do is take out one screw and the whole ball just comes off sideways. It's just a little bit of the post going in there. That's why now it's rolling better. Yeah, it doesn't have much wiggle room, so that's what it is. You don't want to tighten it up too much. Otherwise, the other one, which was just damn, and I'm assuming lady, or a dude that really likes bracelets, like friendship bracelets. Like he has a lot of friends and he wants to show them all off. Otherwise, that person had way better pictures to show it off good, and it was in pristine condition. I believe also working good, or said it's working good enough, as good as this or better. That went for over $200, not counting the shipping. Just wow. Wow. My Goodwill caught him slipping again, man. Nobody took the time to look this up on eBay, which they do with a lot of stuff like this. Or maybe they're skipping the little stuff and just looking up bigger things, like game systems and stuff. But $4.50. So, score! And no, I'm not selling this. This stays in my collection, man. It's just got that very cool retro sci-fi look to it. It's a really cool little radio, and I've never seen anything like it. So anyways, on opening it up, if you guys have one, if you're lucky to have one, and it's got some problems or whatever, bottom of it here just rotates just a little bit. Don't force it. That's one thing that I was seeing too, where people were saying a lot of these, when they find them, the bottom's either got the clippies broken off that holds it in place, or the whole bottom's missing. So anyways, just give it a little twist. Carefully lift that off without breaking the damn clips, which sometimes is not the easiest. And there's your 9-volt battery that just rests in there. Anyways, below the battery, got your piece of paper in there that gives all the information on it. This one is a model P2765A. Okay, it just gives information to get a hold of them if you have any problems. Under where it says like battery 9 volts, this is, here's a serial number? Don't know, 2227S and maybe an I, or that might be a mark. That looks more like a mark, it doesn't look like it's been stamped in. So that might be a serial number. This is General Electric Audio Products Department. No phone number, just address. Yeah, they want you to literally write a letter to General Electric if you have a problem with this. Is that don't call us, write a letter. That tells you how old it is. So anyways, screw in the bottom there, you just take that out. This whole piece just lifts off. That screw's the only thing holding it in place, and just watch the wires here is because the paper's in there, which if it's not in there or if it's loose, then you can just pull out the piece of paper in there and have that go through the little hole. Then you can just set this part aside. But if you got the paper in there and stuff and still glued in place, just has enough slack on the wires to where you can just flip it to the side, and then it shows all the innards for the capacitors and whatnot. Shows the 2 cogs that this hits to tune it. It's in bottom half the tune, and then it also shows the mechanism for your volume for turning it on and off also, which that I don't have any of the stuff. I gotta go pick some up, but I don't see why I couldn't spray that with some CRC contact cleaner and maybe make some of that static sound go away when I'm turning it up and down on the volume. Otherwise, enough to where you can see if there's any damage, like a blown capacitor or whatever, or loose wire or anything like that. Any further, and that's where you're taking a bit of a chance. The thing is about 50 years old, which I was going to open it up, but now really afraid to, is this bottom piece, the way it does the tuning, so there's a circular center to it. In fact, they got a metal weight in the center of it or whatever. Oh wait, no, that's not where it is. My brain's not working. Hold on, people. Damn thing wants to turn on. There. Anyways. Yeah. It's not real heavy. Yeah, it's got a metal weight in the bottom here, and then you got the weight of the battery and the weight of some of the guts. Anyways, about the size of that metal weight. There's an area sticking out below this that just levels up with the large cog, and then there's a little post on the bottom of this that goes through a little hole in the cog, just enough to make it rotate when you turn this. Anyways, that cog turns another smaller cog. It's really weird. It's like, almost looks like 2 thin ones that they layered up, and then for some reason there's a spring on the side of it. I guess attaching the 2 together or something. I don't know what the spring's for. It doesn't seem to do anything when I'm rotating stuff. Anyways, that, because of the age, the plastic's got a crack going through it. So I could tell if I took out the screw and tried to remove it, most likely, because I believe in Murphy's Law still, he's not dead yet, that's going to snap right in half, and then I end up having to glue it together, or just have a totally broken radio. So on the dent on this, it's not worth it, because I'd have to totally gut the thing to get to that damn speaker screen. But you definitely have to move the cogs and a few other screws to get at other screws. Is I don't know how many hold the whole freaking innards on, as it's a rounded circuit board in there. It's all screwed down. It's about 3 of them that I was able to get to easy. And then under the large cog, it's like on a post with a spring below that, so it's got some tension to it. And then it's got a clamp or whatever that's two-sided, and there's a screw on each side of the clamp. But to get one screw out, because the cog for some reason has a cutout in it, maybe that's the stopping point or whatever, but the other side, no matter where you rotate it, you'd have to pull that cog off of the post to where you'd be taking a chance of busting the larger one too. Otherwise, it's possible, but unless it's totally annihilated to where it's not working and you can't make it any worse, I wouldn't mess with one of these, especially if you're going to sell it. So, for me, working good enough. Otherwise, very cool, man. Very cool. They'll get old radios and stuff in, but nothing like this. It's usually just the typical stuff, and a lot of times they're beat to freaking hell. Some of the stuff that's been coming to my Goodwill is just, you really are taking a chance on it if there's no way to test it in the store. That's pretty much what they want you to do. They got their testing booth, so if you can plug it in, man. They don't test nothing, so it doesn't matter to them if it's working or not. They're going to sometimes put a high price on it. So, that's the end of this video. I do have a website that's got a little bit more information on it, a few more pictures of it, showing the original box that it came in, so I'll add that to the description for anybody that's interested. Otherwise, pretty much just got on Google and just put in General Electric Orb Radio. I'm looking up stuff on the computer, but originally what I did was just use my smartphone and do the picture search thing on Google, and that brought it up. And, you can find quite a few pictures of it, man. I may be the only one on YouTube that has a video of the actual thing showing it off. I could only find one person that had a video of this, but it was one that they did in like a 3D graphics thing or something, where it's just this rotating. They're not really showing it off on how it works, and then they got, I don't know, static in the background. I can't remember. It's just a little short clip, but I couldn't find anybody showing the function of this in a video. So there's not that many floating around, obviously. Later.